Max Ellenbush. Max had been like a father to this man for 20 years. Nothing unusual about that, except this. As the 15-year-old, the man who had just died had taken his mother's car and struck and killed Max's 5-year-old son. Soon after the accident, there was a trial, where the charges were filed and so on. And the court became very surprised because Max, the father of the 5-year-old, asked that the charges be dropped against this 15-year-old. He said instead he wanted to give the death car driver a job and to help him with his education. Max did all that and more. We might wonder why Max would do that. Could you do that? I don't know if I could befriend a teenager who ran over my 5-year-old son. People would say Max is crazy. So is God. The parable today's gospel depicts God as a landowner who prepared a beautiful vineyard and gives it to his people to tend. At harvest time, he goes to get his stuff. And they kill the servants. The vineyard is again Israel each time. The planters were the Jews, and they had messengers that came to them. The prophets. They rejected the prophet, they killed the prophet, and finally they killed God's son. This is not ancient history that we get to forget. This is not the past that has no relevance to our life today. It has relevance the next time you go to a group outing and some sniper is in a building taking out bodies right and left. If you aren't there right now, in the position you need to be, this is what's going to happen. What happened later in this parable is the landowner just lets it all go. He kills everything, essentially. He tears down the hedge, he lets it become grazing land. If we don't have that position at the moment of our death, and we do not get to pick that, we don't get to go through terminal illnesses necessarily and know that we're going to die in 6 months so that we can prepare for this. Nobody at that concert was there thinking that they would die in the next hour, or they certainly didn't in the next 6 months or anything else. They were there to have a good time. And that's okay. We can go to country western concerts or any other kind of concert. Well, maybe not any. But we can do that. But our soul has to be in the right position at that time with the assumption that this is the end. Any moment walking out in the parking lot, which I've seen some people in our parking lot at work, that it's very capable of running over somebody because they're in a hurry to get to the other side and try to get out around traffic, so they come blowing through the parking lot, not paying a bit of attention to who's there. Are you ready? Nothing. Are you ready?
Yes.
You want to get there?
No.
Yes.
Not now. Do you want to get there? Yes. Right?
Yes.
Then we can't be like the hunters, the preacher who shoots the deer in the ear and it go out the other. I'm shooting you in the ear here. Keep it inside. I'm not a real good shot, but you should hear this. It's not your choice as to when this occurred. Of course we don't think we're healthy, everything. I guarantee you there wasn't one soul that went, 22,000 people thought, this is the night I'm going to die. Not one person went there thinking that. However, I hope and I pray that they were ready spiritually to receive the gift they were about to receive. What gift? Salvation. I hate using this example, but this is the perfect example because most of us leave here on Sunday and we go, we got decades to get this right. The little ones, they ain't gonna listen to this stuff because they've got a long time to get it right. The young parents in their 30s, oh, they got decades to get it right. The old, they go, you know what, I'm getting a little closer to this. Maybe I should start paying attention to it. And then the stupid ones like me, who think I'm absolutely invincible, will not know when it comes. And will I be prepared? I'd like to tell you with absolute certainty that I know I'm ready. I say, yeah, I'm ready, but not today. Meaning, I don't want to do this today. What do you believe about this? Do you believe it's that important to do it now? What do you believe about salvation? What do you believe about your call home? What do you believe you need to do? Now, there's another story about a husband and wife who were married, and he was a good provider. But the husband noticed that his wife was a little distant. He said, what's wrong? She said, you go through the motion, but you don't live as though you're my husband. You don't appreciate me. You don't show it in any way. The story was meant for us that go to church and are attentive to the readings and so on, and then we go out the door and we wait till next Sunday. We do nothing between Sunday and Sunday to show that we appreciate what God has done for us. Until next Sunday, and then we're very attentive when we receive the sacrament, and we're holy as can be. And then 10:30 rolls around, and we're back to who? We're going through, okay. Make a sign of the cross, pray a couple times a week, maybe. Like when somebody cuts you off in traffic. But we don't live an active faith life. Active faith life requires, guess what? Action. Not just word service, not just lip service. It requires us to live it. Now, I will tell you something. At that concert, there were many people who were living it. We are hearing story after story. I saw one where a soldier laid on top of a woman to protect her. And then once he got her to safety, under gunfire, he went back into the fire to rescue others. And that's living it. That's crazy, but that's living it. And I saw some of the pictures of him shoving this woman to the ground and then laying on top of her. Didn't know who she was. He was shot in the process. Whether it was at that point or later, I don't know. There were people there putting their very life on the line. Jesus says the greatest gift is to lay down one's life for one's friend. They were laying down their lives for strangers. We have to live this. We can't just give lip service. We have to live it. If we do, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. But what I am saying is the reward is incredible. In the name of the Lord Jesus, I bid you peace.
Amen.